This video is sponsored by Surfshark, the best VPN on the market. Surfshark is an app or browser extension that allows you to change your location to access websites in other countries and keep you safe from hackers. For example, we here in Ireland can access other countries' Netflix libraries, streaming services such as DAZN in Spain for those all-important Premier League games. Surfshark keeps you safe and private by protecting everything you do online. When your device connects to the internet, all that information is, in a way, blurred out. Surfshark is particularly useful for keeping you safe if you use public Wi-Fi, such as a college or a cafe. Surfshark allows you to use one subscription on unlimited devices, meaning that you can even share an account with friends and family. On top of this, Surfshark offers a 30-day money-back guarantee, so if you don't like it, you can even get your money back. Our sign-up offer gives you Surfshark VPN for just over €2 per month and up to 4 months free. Why not scan the QR code on screen or use the link in the description to take advantage of this offer. What is up, my friends? We are live and you are very welcome along to tonight's late night agenda, where of course we're going to give you the very latest. Things are looking really positive, folks, and I'm going to take you through what we know, what you can expect, and of course lots of other interesting bits and pieces over the next 90 minutes or so. We want to know your thoughts, of course. Lash it into the comment section. I'll do my best to get to every comment as soon as I can, but right now I'm a very happy chappy. So I'm sure you've seen what we've seen today, but there are some other things that we can hopefully fill you in on over the course of the next 90 minutes that will make you feel a little bit happier about things. You've nothing to be concerned about, as we've mentioned all the way through. When you've seen Florian Wirtz coming on there and absolutely just owning Florian Plettenberg, things are looking good. I hope now anybody who has been feeling a little bit concerned about it starts to feel a bit more relaxed. We believe there's been a breakthrough, but I'll give you more on that in a couple of moments' time. First super chat of the day to get into David. Thank you, my man. You didn't put a comment in, but appreciate you. So look, where are we at? Well, let's start off with his beautiful Instagram post, shall we? Which I'm sure that you guys have seen. Basically, Florian Wirtz posted this and said, "Who says I want a 10? I respect players. Don't believe everything that's written." He said what's written, but I'm correcting it for him. So as you can see, he's already starting to shout down the rumours that the likes of Florian Plettenberg, or I could use his nickname, by the way, Plettenberg's, but I'm trying to be respectful. And again, just showing that a lot of what's written from journalists is just waffle to, well, get clicks, really. And I'm not talking about the English journalists this time. English journalists have been very respectful around the Wirtz situation, but well, a couple of things have happened today. Let's just put it that way. Firstly, the nod was given. If Liverpool need to go to the €150 million, the nod was given to Michael Edwards to get that deal over the line. So we believe there's been advancements today that will make the announcement imminent on Florian Wirtz joining Liverpool. There is no doubts remaining around it. Like we've said a few days ago, he'll be coming, Kerkez will be coming, and Frimpong's already a Liverpool player. So I'm sitting here like the cat that's got the cream today, and I know people are still going to have some doubts in their mind. I get that. I can't change your thought processes, but right now I'm really happy. And I'm really excited because this announcement is imminent. We've already seen the German national team manager speaking about it yesterday. We've seen Kimmich speaking about it. And then today, well, you've got that. Why would you be commenting on a post if you weren't coming to the club? You know what I mean? You're not going to be going, you'd say something about nothing's been agreed or blah, blah, blah. But not just going in on a journalist for saying you want the number 10, saying he's being respectful. Now, for me, I want Wirtz to take the 7. You know, McAllister's spoken about what it means to wear the number 10 at Liverpool, actually just recently as well. I don't know if I have those quotes for you, but he's been speaking about wearing the number 10 at Liverpool and carrying the weight of that shirt. So he knows what it means to have it. And I think Florian Wirtz, for me, will be a great number 7 at Liverpool, following on from the likes of King Kenny. So let's wait and see on the exact number. That I don't have information on. But honestly, I'm not going to be the one to say it's done, because I'll leave that to the journalists, but my own understanding is that today was a very important day, that had seen Liverpool and Leverkusen reach common ground. We'll wait and see for the old here we go or whatever, but we're there. Right, so Florian Wirtz is going to Liverpool. The deal is almost closed. They're negotiating the last details, said Fabrizio Romano. Again, I believe today that there was a bit of a breakthrough in these. It's nice to see all the journalists playing catch up with little old Anfield Agenda on this one, isn't it? And look, I hope, if nothing else, more people now understand that we're here to be honest. If I know something, I'll tell you. If I don't know something, I won't bullshit you. I'll tell you I don't know. This one, it's been pretty straightforward for us all the way through. And now it's just a matter of when and how it's announced. I'll leave that to the club. But let's get into some of your comments. Just want to shout out everyone tuned in. Love that, Suleiman. Absolute gent, mate. Also, we now have an Anfield Agenda WhatsApp channel. I'm not sure if Connor's posted in the link or not. It will be in the description of this video or this stream. So yeah, if you want to join the Anfield Agenda WhatsApp channel, we've just launched that to keep you guys up to date with all the latest news as well. This one from Rusba said, I think we'll win the Premier League again this year. So do I, my man. I do. And I don't say that lightly. But I really think this signing is going to be a massive difference maker. There's a load for me to get through, by the way, over the next 90 minutes. We're going to be talking about a meeting that took place between Liverpool and Ryan Cherky, or I should say between Liverpool's manager and Ryan Cherky. I'm going to be telling you what that was all about and why you've got no need to be concerned by it. We're going to be speaking about Queeveen Kelleher. And look, if you would indulge me for a moment, as an Irishman and as a former goalkeeper myself, it's a bit of a sad day for me today. You know, I wish Queeveen the very best. He's joined a good club there in Brentford, and I understand his thought process is 100%. He deserves to go and be a number one because he's good enough to be a number one. But as an Irishman, it does, you know, I do have a bit of a heavy heart today seeing Queeveen depart. But I do want to say a massive thank you to him for his service to the club. I want to say well done to Ringmahon Rangers as well, who are going to make about €3 million from Queeveen Kelleher's move. So the Cork League of Ireland club there are going to make nice money, and that'll make a huge difference to grassroots football down in Cork as well. So yeah, today's a sad day, but also a good day because Queeveen deserves that move. People are going to talk about the price of it. Maybe Liverpool could have eked out a little bit more from Brentford, but it was about getting the right move for a player that's been nothing but respectful to the club all the way through as well. You've also seen that Mark Flecken has gone across and joined Bayer Leverkusen, and dominoes that we spoke about falling into place are starting to move now. Carl said, can you change the banner on Facebook? It has Trent on it. Cheers. I don't have anything to do with that account, Carl. Nothing. I'm proud to say I don't go near Facebook. So, yeah, that'll be somebody else's job to do, my man. Not on me. What's up, Craig? Hope you the rest of you legends. Excuse me. What's up, Craig, and the rest of you legends? Craig, you kept me grounded throughout the Wirtz chase. Thanks for keeping my nerves in check. Number 21 next year. Look, I get it, Lee. If I didn't have the amount of information I had on it, I would have been a nervous Nelly waiting around for it. Because, of course, we've been through this stuff before and haven't gotten the deal over the line. So I totally understood everybody's nerves. But I just wanted to keep reminding people that they had nothing to be concerned about with this one because it was always going to happen. What striker do you think we will sign? Well, there seems to be a list of 4, according to Sky Sports and reports today. Now, again, full transparency, I have no clue who the striker is we're going to go for. But Sky have reported 4 strikers. They've said that Liverpool are looking at Alexander Isak, Benjamin Šeško, Victor Osimhen, and Hugo Ekitike. Your guess is as good as mine after that. What we do know is Osimhen has a £63 million release clause in his deal. I've got no idea if which one of those or if any of them Liverpool are going to sign. I'd be a liar if I told you. So yeah, look, would I have a preference from those ones? Yeah, Isak obviously, but I don't think that's likely. So I'm always said I'm happy to just see what the club do with it. If the club go with any of them, I'll understand and back the player to come in. I do have some reservations about the links to Osimhen, but let's wait and see. I would be a liar, Lee, if I told you I knew which one we were signing, and I don't. Sorry on that one. Sorry with David. Yeah, I don't know, mate. Sorry, I really just don't know which striker would be signing. Let me know which one you guys would want, though. So look, I'm going to read through these real quick and then get into the news because I'm sure that's why you're all here. Did Kerkez like Florian's post yet? Don't know, actually. Haven't checked that one. He usually does like the old Liverpool post, doesn't he? V. Aaron, how are you, my man? Hey, Craig. You look tired. You doing okay? I'm good. Nah, not at all tired. Jesus, thanks. Why'd you say, hey, Craig, you look like shit? Cheers, man. Have you seen Trent praising Ramos? Yeah, but that was done after. So that's been out of context. That comment is from a previous interview after the final, I believe. So I wouldn't read anything into it. And also, I don't really care about Trent anymore. Yeah, so on that one, unpopular opinion, he's a rat. Kelleher's more of a legend. Look, each to their own, mate. I'm just glad the Trent situation's over. And I don't think I look tired. I think I'm looking good. I've been very busy over the last few days, as I'm sure you can imagine. But as I've always said, it's always a pleasure, never a chore. Have you heard of some surprise signing that Liverpool might have done? Yes, I have. I told you guys this the other night. We've been told that Liverpool expect 4 signings early doors in the window. At least the club are preparing and the media side for 4. I don't know who the 4th one is though. I've been trying to find out, but I don't know. All I know is the club and the media team are expecting 4 fairly early. So, we know who 3 of them are. No idea for me who the 4th is. Would have loved to have seen us go for Delap, said the real Johnny Sins. It was always Chelsea. Like we reported maybe 4 to 6 weeks ago, we told everybody it was going to be Chelsea because, again, one of our people in our Discord group had good information on that and shared it with us, and it absolutely came true. So shout out Andy for that one. Would you take Eze if Lucho leaves? Underrated player. He's a very good player, but he's just about to turn 27, if I'm not mistaken. So I would expect a younger player in. Now, Liverpool have made contact with Rafa Leao's camp today or yesterday. I think that's just a little reminder that we have options, by the way. I don't really expect Liverpool to make a move for Rafa Leao personally. Darren said, Wirtz highlights work better than Viagra. Well, I've only tried one of those two, and it's the Wirtz highlights. So I think I can agree with you, but I can't give my take on the little blue pill because never tried one. What do you think the plan is with Bajcetic? Said Alec. Well, the manager said he was going to give him a look in pre-season, Alec. After that, bro, I don't know. I hope he gets a chance to prove himself. I'm still trying to find out if there's any truth to those Ederson links from Atalanta because I just don't know at the minute. Yes, Mark, we're absolutely sound to post the WhatsApp link, mate. If anybody wants to join it, it would be a pleasure to have you guys in. Right, look, let me start running through some of the news for you. And we'll get you up to right where we are now. So as always, if you don't mind indulging me, I'll go through this in chronological order for you, which we believe brings us right up to where we are. So let's start off with that Ray and Cherky meeting that Liverpool absolutely did have. So it can be disclosed that David Ornstein that Arne Slot left his holiday last week and flew to the south of France to meet with Lyon's Ray and Cherky. Now here's why. Liverpool are committed to Florian Wirtz, but that doesn't stop them performing their due diligence on other options and preparing for all outcomes. The Ray and Cherky discussions were scheduled before the Wirtz chase accelerated. So Liverpool, as had been promised, had plan A, B, C and D. Plan A is obviously Florian Wirtz, but this meeting with Ray and Cherky's camp was arranged before Liverpool got the nod that Wirtz wanted to come and play for the Reds. So Arne Slot and Liverpool just went and fulfilled the meeting. I wouldn't look into it too much. I do believe he'll probably join Manchester City, but he wanted to come to Liverpool and Liverpool had scheduled that meeting before the Wirtz situation. Liverpool's offer was about 10 million short of Bayer Leverkusen's asking price, said the Mail. Richard Hughes, Liverpool's sporting director, has proposed a package to his Leverkusen counterpart that will easily have easily attainable performance-related bonuses such as Champions League qualification, but the clubs are yet to agree a final fee. Talks will continue today. Now, that was earlier in the day. We believe things have changed a little bit since that. Next up, David Ornstein said Liverpool are continuing talks with Bayer Leverkusen for Florian Wirtz, where optimism a deal can be struck. There is a feeling around the matter. There's a feeling around the matter that this could be a pivotal week. I don't even think it's going to take that long, in all honesty. Whether they wait till after the Germany game tomorrow to announce that they've gotten to where they want to be, that's up to the club to decide. Also, David Ornstein said the Florian Wirtz situation has become a one-horse race, like we've told you, for a very long time. The 22-year-old has given his preference to join Liverpool and the Anfield club's willingness to push. Wirtz is the most high-profile situation in the market right now. Liverpool's proposal was worth a club record €130 million, comprised of a guaranteed fee plus potential add-ons, and may yet increase. We believe it has. Wirtz is a long-term target for Liverpool, their first choice and the only player they have made a bid for in his position. Why is that important? Well, because you've got to get Manchester City fans pretending that they beat us to the signing of Ryan Cherky, when ultimately, like they did with Dominic Szoboszlai, like they're going to have to do with Wirtz, they're going to be the bridesmaid here and have to take the players that are left on the market. Very good player still though, Cherky, no denying that. Right, so we reported this the other day, and now the media are finally catching up. Bild report that Florian Wirtz has agreed personal terms with Liverpool until 2030, being the 5-year contract that I mentioned the other day. Talks are continuing over the transfer fee, with 2 bids now rejected. Bild report that Leverkusen are holding out for €150 million, as Michael Edwards has been given the approval on that figure. And that's something that's been mentioned far and wide, is that they have been given the nod by the owners if they need to go up to the €150 million for the package. Now, what I don't know is where we've got to a number at. I don't know the number yet, but I do think today was a pivotal day. Sammy Mockbell, speaking about who could potentially leave Liverpool. So Sammy Mockbell of the BBC has said, one name to keep an eye on is Canade. He's in talks over a new deal. If an agreement can't be reached, it'll be interesting to see if they consider offers to avoid losing him for nothing in 2026. PSG and Al Hilal are the clubs I've heard who have an interest. Now, I'm going to keep going through the news, but I want to get a poll going on this one. I want to know, would you let Canade run his deal down and leave for free rather than lose him this summer? Because yes, look, common sense is sell him, bring in a player. That's what we'd like to do. But I don't want to see the partnership broken up. So what would you do in this situation? So let me just bring this one up. 1 second. Right, so the way I've worded it is, would you let Canade go for free if we can't extend? So basically, yes, if you would like to see the contract ran down for the year and then him to go for free, or no, if you think that we should sell him. You know, for me, I just don't want that partnership broke up. And I certainly think Liverpool don't want a new partnership for the start of next season. So I don't know what happens with Canade. You know, I'm as nervous about it as everybody else, but I just don't want that partnership broken up this summer. What do we pay from? Just 38, 40 million, something like that? Right, next up. James Pearce has said that Tyler Morton, Nat Phillips and Reece Williams are all expected to leave in search of first-team challenges, like we've reported as well. Tyler Morton the most likely there from midfield in our opinion. James Pearce also said, if expected, Liverpool sign Milos Kerkez. We will. One of the current left-backs would be surplus to requirements, with Costas deemed the most likely to depart. Then he went on to speak a little bit about further incomings, and again, I agree with James Pearce on this, and it seems common sense. So he said on transfers, further incomings after Wirtz and Kerkez. See, when James Pearce is already saying after Wirtz and Kerkez, you know these deals are in the bag, would be heavily influenced by outgoings. And that makes sense. If you think about it, Liverpool are about to drop, let's say, €250 million on Wirtz, on no, that's a bit high, isn't it? On Wirtz, on Frimpong and Kerkez, it's about €225 million. So it makes sense that maybe we'd want to bring in a few quid, especially before we go out there to get a striker. Going to have to make sure that we get the money we need for Darwin. Al Hilal today, or excuse me, not Al Hilal, Al Nasser have made a big play today looking for Luis Diaz. They've been given the green light for central funding to make a bid to Liverpool for him. So let's wait and see what happens there. Sport Witness have said that Liverpool have made contact for an attacker in the last few hours, and that attacker, they say, is Rafa Leao of AC Milan. But again, I would say take that with a pinch of salt. A bid from Al Nasser for Luis Diaz may be imminent, as they've received central funding approval to negotiate with the Premier League for an attacking option ahead of next season. Liverpool will demand a fee of about £72 million. Diaz is open to the idea of leaving this summer. That from Ben Jacobs. This one's interesting though, about Federico Chiesa, coming from Gazzetta Italia. Said Federico Chiesa, speaking about returning to Italy, said, "That's something to think about during the summer. My family, my agent and I have great relationship with Liverpool and the goal is to be ready for pre-season. We'll find the best solution for everyone. I work every day with a Liverpool programme to be in top shape for the tests on July the 8th. I hope next season, it's my season. My dream is to participate in the World Cup." And that's why it's important that he gets those guarantees from Liverpool this summer, that he will be part of Arne Slot's plans properly, or we have to make the decision to sell him. The man wants to try to get into the World Cup squad, so I can totally understand it. Napoli have been linked. Juventus have been linked now that Thiago Motta is gone, because we've already seen Chiesa come out and speak about the fact that Thiago Motta said to him that he wasn't part of his plans at Juventus, and hence that's why he moved to Liverpool. So, James Pearce also said, "Sense an expectation on both sides that a compromise will be reached for Florian Wirtz." Queeveen Kelleher today completed his move. We discussed that at the start of the stream. Nigeria Stories have said, "Just in, Liverpool are reportedly preparing to initiate negotiations for the signing of Victor Osimhen from Napoli during the upcoming transfer window." This from Ben Jacob said, "Breaking, Al Nassr set to approach Liverpool over Luis Diaz after receiving central approval to make a bid, could be as high as €85 million. Julian Nagelsmann on Florian Wirtz Focus tomorrow said this, "I think it's perfectly normal for every player, coach, whatever, to have one or two thoughts when a transfer is imminent. I think that's part of it." So again, him saying, even the manager, it's imminent. We already spoke about Plettenberg being owned by Wirtz, saying basically don't believe everything you read. I haven't asked for the 10. Queeveen Kelleher has been speaking a little bit about his move to Brentford, and this is what he had to say. "I'm buzzing. I'm really happy to be here. I don't think it was a difficult decision to leave. I felt for my own career that the time was right for me to go, to be a number one and to play every week. I heard of some interest a number of weeks ago. Once I knew Brentford was in for me, it was definitely one I was really excited about and wanted to do as quickly as possible. When I came back for pre-season, when I come back for pre-season, all my focus will be on what I want to do next year, to work on certain goals and what I need to improve on, and to have a really good season for Brentford." Fabrizio Romano said, "Florian Wirtz is going to Liverpool. The deal is almost closed. They're negotiating the last details." And as I mentioned earlier on, and in our Discord group, we also have that information that today there was a bit of a breakthrough. Right, so many comments to catch back up on, and thank you all for your patience while I ran through the news. Right, we've done that. This one. "Why is Zubimendi so childish? LFC dodged the bullet." I get where you're coming from on this, because I've seen the comments that you're speaking about. He's almost flirted and nearly asked for Real Madrid to come and sign him. He didn't say definitively one way or the other whether he was going to Arsenal or not. And I wonder, are we going to see a situation with them where, well, Arsenal fans get a little bit of what happened to us last summer? So it is a weird one, Elwyn, I agree with you. And he's certainly not covering himself in glory there, is he? Can we start planning a song yet, Craig? Baby Love Really Wirtz Without You. Well, Connor's been given a few options as well for potential Wirtz songs, but, you know, I'm not a creative person, so I'll leave it to you creative types. And thank you. Appreciate you, Cal. Liao up top. Liao on top of the others would be silly signings, said Liverpool Badger. I'm very dubious on how sincere that interest in Rafa Liao is. I think that was just a little reminder that Liverpool have options, personally. So, let's keep going. Christopher said, where did Romano post Wirtz going to Liverpool? The deal is almost closed. Can't seem to find it. By the way, keep up the good work. Love from Norway. Well, you can find it on the Anfield Agenda account, because we have the quote there. But where it was from, I don't know. Probably one of his videos on YouTube, I would imagine. I don't run our social media account, so I can't tell you exactly which quote it's from. But this guy here sitting in front of you, he's telling you the same thing. It's going to be done. And again, I can't say for certain that the deal's been closed behind the scenes, but I can tell you it's pretty much done. And Liverpool, as everybody has said, will be unveiling Florian Wirtz soon. Is the medical being done in Germany? Let's wait and see. Right, Lewis said, I think people don't... 1 second. So, DAZN is where he said it. DAZN. That's speaking on DAZN. That's the one, probably ahead of the Club World Cup. So thank you, Mark, for sending that on to me. It was DAZN. Right, so get to go back to Lewis's post. I think people don't realise how big Kerkez signing is because of the Wirtz signing, and rightly so. He could be one of the best left backs in the world for us. Well, the biggest compliment, Lewis, that I can give Milos Kerkez is if I was to go into a factory and put in a load of raw ingredients to come up with a left back to replace Robbo in the future, it would come out looking a lot like Milos Kerkez. He's got all the attributes we need. Frimpong and Connor Bradley on the right as well, great options. Robbo and Milos Kerkez on the left, incredible options. The only thing I'm a bit nervy about at the minute is the centre-back situation, but I agree. That signing will probably go under the radar a little bit because of how big the Wirtz deal is. Really want this Wirtz deal sorted by Friday, said Keith. I think, mate, the game tomorrow is obviously causing a bit of a hiccup at the minute. But I think the deal's already at that point, mate. Honestly, I do. PSG trying to buy Zubimendi. What's this? Zubimendi from Bournemouth. Okay. Bournemouth obviously have brought in some good players, and it's going to be a tough summer for them. You know, they've already lost Huijsen. They're about to lose Kerkez. And on that, actually, they're already looking at potential replacements for him. Have I not got that in my notes? Sorry, I thought I had that in my notes. Bear with me. They're looking at 3 players. I think a Ron left back they've already had an offer rejected for. They brought in Julio Soler previously as well. But yeah, you can see by Bournemouth openly shopping for a left back exactly what's happening there as well. Wirtz medical next week after the Nations League. That I've been trying to figure out. I wonder, has the medical been done in Germany? I don't know is the honest answer. That is one aspect of this I haven't got the information on. We know that there was talk of a plane that went over from Manchester, I think, to Nuremberg, if I remember correctly. Whether Liverpool's medical staff are on that and have done a medical, I really don't know. But I can say, all I can talk about is the deal between Liverpool and Leverkusen. That today had a breakthrough in it, to the best of my understanding. This one. David said, does this transfer window tone for FSG spending in the past? Do we see them differently? Excuse me. Honestly, yes. I would see them differently now after this. But I stand over every single word I've said in the past about FSG because, like I've always said, I wanted, as a fan, them held to account for a lack of investment. But I also said, if they do what we expect them to do this summer, then you won't hear a peep from me about the where's the money Johns or any of this stuff. Every set of owners makes mistakes, and they've made plenty along the way. But right now, how could I sit here as a fan and complain? Wirtz, Frimpong, Kerkez. Now, of course, that's not the full summer plan. We need to bring in a striker, and we need to look at some other areas. But so far, I'm a very happy fan. And for me, it will certainly mean that they've done what I've wanted them to do, which is strengthen from a position of strength. And I can't really ask for any more than that. I've never wanted Liverpool to be put in a precarious financial position. I've never wanted us to just spunk money on stupid deals. But right now, it feels like everything is aligning. And I do wonder about the past. Was it a mixture of Jurgen and the owners maybe not wanting to spend? Was it one or the other? Truth is, I don't know, and I can't change what happened in the past. But right now, they're showing ambition. They're shown to be owners that are wanting to win. And as a fan, that's all I've ever wanted. Why don't we ask for 100 million for Diaz if it's Saudi? I think 85 million euro, about 72 million pound, is already a very high fee for a player that's 28. I think it's a good fee personally, and I think Liverpool, if they want to move Diaz on, and look, I've always said I'm a fan of Lucho. I don't want him to go. If he goes, I respect the fact that maybe he wanted to change in his career, but I just want the club to do the best business possible, and I think 85 million euro is a good fee for Luis Diaz. I don't think we'd have gotten that out of Barcelona, to be honest. Brap Attack said, disappointed, Craig. Don't know why the audience is so eager to see Diaz go. He's way better than Gordon Fofana. Don't forget what he did this season. So this kind of feels like I'm having to defend something that I never said, or how do I say this? I can't control the Diaz situation, nor can the chat. All we can do is react and give our opinion on it. And I've said really many times, my man, I'm disappointed that he's leaving. I like Diaz, and this has been his best season for us. But what I can't talk about is how the club look at it, or how Diaz can't look at it. And if he has itchy feet, maybe, and he wants to move away, then it's just a case of us getting the most money we can. What I think we can agree on is the links with Diaz moving away have been consistent for about a year now. And that's all I know about it. You know, I don't think anyone's wishing him away, but what we do have to talk about is the potential replacements. And I can't really speak to Malik Fofana because I don't know all that much about him. But let's say Anthony Gordon, just to use your own example. I think with him, the club would have a few boxes ticked for the homegrown quota, the fact he's a Liverpool fan. And if you look at it from the perspective of age as well, you're improving the age profile of the team. So maybe Liverpool feel this is the peak time to get the maximum value for Luis Diaz, with the fact he also has 2 years to go on his deal. That's all I can think of, my man. But certainly, I don't know any Liverpool fans that will be wishing him away, really. Tanner, how are you, my man? Tanner Freeman said, Wirtz has been my favourite Bundesliga player for the last 3 years, so seeing him on Liverpool will be a dream come true. What would be a successful goals and assists season for him? Honestly, don't know, Tanner, because when I say things like I don't care, I don't mean that to be undermining of your post. What I mean is I don't really give a shit about individual accolades. If he improves the team, that's all I care about. If he helps Liverpool win a Premier League and a Champions League and doesn't have a single individual award, I won't be complaining one bit. It's all about the team. It's all about strengthening it. And this is just a dream signing, in all honesty. You know, I keep going back to this, but even 3 months ago, I did so many streams thinking, far-fetched, not going to happen. I really just feel like this is a dream scenario. You know, this is the generational talent. This is a future potential Ballon d'Or winner. That's how highly I rate him, like yourself. Stevie Boy said, welcome Florian Wirtz to Liverpool, number 21 incoming. It's you know what? The opposition fans should be worried. And I know there's going to be a lot of copium going on, especially with the Manchester City dozen fans. But right now, this is a massive statement, not only of the money we're willing to spend, but of how attractive the club is to players right now. We all know that Wirtz would have had his pick. He could have named his team and he would have walked in there. But Liverpool, under Arne Slot, with the way that the club has been, and I've no doubt that the images that he's seen as well of the celebrations of Liverpool fans. Don't forget, he's played at Anfield. He's been to the AXA training centre with Leverkusen after that game. These will stick with him. And it's just great. It's Liverpool restoring themselves back to where we all want them to be, at the pinnacle of football, being able to attract and bring in the biggest stars and paying big money. It's just, I'm absolutely over the moon about it all. Danny said, CH and team have been right on Wirtz since day one. Appreciate you, my man. Look, I know the Bellingham thing is something that still gets thrown against me. But if you look at the few things, and there hasn't been that many, that we have said are going to happen over the years. We were the first people to break the Fabio Carvalho story, even that there was links to him. We did the Canade story when that came through. Frimpong, Wirtz, Kerkez. We went really early in this window to tell you they're all going to be done. We don't always get information. We are certainly not the most connected fan channel on here. But what we do get, when we can verify it and bring it to you, we do. And we don't hold back. And yeah, it was nervy for us for a while there when these negotiations are ongoing. But ultimately, we knew one thing to be really, really true. The player only had eyes for Anfield. And that helps a lot. Craig, does Kerkez start over Robbo? Great job, by the way. It's up to them to fight it out, you know. Up to them to convince the manager which one's the better fit. So I think this is almost the perfect storm. And let me explain why. So we've got Costas who's going to move on. And I think that's the right call. But Andy Robertson is coming into his last year right now as a Liverpool player. So he's going to be playing for that contract extension. And I think we're going to see a different Robbo this season. Started the season a bit slowly last year, having come back from an injury that kind of derailed his pre-season a bit. but he's a competitor and he's not going to want to give up his spot. And I think the two of these guys are going to push each other on quite a bit. Who starts the first game of the season? I don't know, my man, but we'll get some hints, I think, in pre-season. But again, best left back I think we could have brought in. And really, really excited about Milos becoming a Liverpool player. Sorry about the tired assumption. The Leao interest could be replacing Lucho if he's going. Who would you want to bring in? Look, mate, it's all good. I'm just concerned that maybe I'm looking like shit. That was all I was concerned about, my man. It's been a really busy time for us, as I'm sure you can imagine. But when things are going the way they are, I don't care about sleep. I don't care about stuff like that. I'm fully laser focused on what we're doing. And sometimes maybe I do need to take a rest and maybe I do look tired. But I'm good, my man. I'm good. And who would I want to bring in if we lose Lucho? I know I'm kind of on my own here, but I do like the idea of Anthony Gordon. I really do. You know, I can't really think of any other players. I mean, Nico Williams would be great. There's talk that he's going to sign the new deal, or at least they're trying to get him to sign the new deal at Bilbao that would have a higher release clause in it. So if somebody's going to make a play for him, this is probably the summer to make that move. It's difficult to say who I want, because usually who I want is linked with who I think's available and what I think's realistic. And outside of Anthony Gordon, there isn't really many names going through my head at the minute that I'm thinking about. Malik Fofana is an interesting one, but I would be an absolute liar if I told you he would be good enough or not good enough. I don't know, but I do trust the recruitment team. I do trust the data analysts, because if there's one thing we can say about Liverpool, we don't always make the moves that we want. But when we do make moves, particularly with Michael Edwards, with I was going to say Richard Hughes, but he's only been involved a short time. But Michael Edwards and the people that have come before him, the recruitment team has usually been spot on. And they don't really pull out many duds. Eddie, how are you, my man? We're spending money. Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money. I love it. I do. It makes me very happy to see you spending that money. Nicholas said, hey Craig, your thoughts on Barcola or Nico Williams as replacements if Diaz leaves? I also wouldn't say no to Anthony Gordon for the right fee. Is it just me that thinks Barcola has no end product? For me, I just see another Raheem Sterling, or, you know, somebody who undoubtedly has ability and pace, but I just don't think he has the killer instinct. For me, I would pass on Barcola, personally. Anthony Gordon, you know, my thoughts on him. And who was the other one you mentioned? Nico Williams, I love. Big fan of Nico Williams as a player. I love, I don't want to say arrogance, but the confidence that he carries. I like how he carries himself. But again, is that going to be the guy? I think we do need to keep an eye on the homegrown situation. And I think that may play a part in some of the signings we make this summer. So Frimpong, homegrown. He qualifies, but we're going to lose some. So we've just lost Kelleher, homegrown. He's going to go. Elliott, if he leaves, homegrown, another one gone. Kwanzaa, if he goes, that's another homegrown player gone. There's pros and cons of them. Usually a much bigger profit margin on them. So, for instance, if we got 45 million for Harvey Elliott, that's pretty much 40 million quid profit on the books. Probably even a little bit more than that. Kelleher, it's all profit, because of course he came through as an academy system. So the 18 million all in there, including the add-ons, is all profit on Liverpool's balance sheet. And that will really help us with the secondary deals that we're going to do as this window moves on. Next season's going to be amazing. Thank you. Social Plays. Appreciate our, what is it? Sakokov Plays? Thank you. Appreciate you and welcome in. Right, let's check back in on our poll, by the way. I don't want the chat to feel I'm ignoring them, so let's check back in. We said, would you let Canade go for free if he can't extend? So 84% of people said no, they wouldn't. So I'm taking it, you would say, sell this summer if you can't extend. Bacola scored 14 and assisted 10 in the league this season. I can only give you an opinion though, Scott, based off what I've seen, my man. You know, I don't ever think, and I'm arrogant enough to think that my opinion's gospel. But when I've watched Barcola, he's just not convinced me. That's all. I can only be honest with you, my man. Right, what else have we got? Malik Fofana, please. He's a diamond, said Stephanie Dupree's. Well, we know he'd love to play for Liverpool as well, Stephanie. He's let that be known publicly as well. He was linked. Liverpool feel that the asking price, according to the report, is a bit high and they'd like to try and knock it down a bit. But it will be interesting to see what does happen if Diaz moves on. And again, it does look like he's edging closer to the exit door. Surely we'd have to bring in a replacement, right? You couldn't not bring in somebody else because we think Wirtz is going to operate in the 10 role or maybe even the false 9 role. So, yeah, let's wait and see what happens. Darwizi said, there's a lot of stories linking us with ENQUIRIES. Is there? I'm not seeing them. Honestly, mate, I'm not. I don't know how many times I can repeat the same thing, but he's not going to be coming to Liverpool. You know, I can only say it over and over again, but if you want to keep reading stories linking him with a move to Liverpool, crack on. I know he's left the Sweden camp because of an injury, but to the best of my understanding, unless something has drastically changed, Liverpool have no interest. Right, where are we at? Done that one, done that one, done that one. This one. Mohammed said, big fan, Craig. Thank you, sir. Really appreciate that. I know that Wirtz is a top player, but at what amount does the deal become expensive? 150 million is a bit inflated, don't you think? I mean, look, ideally you want your club to get the best deal possible. So 150 million euro, I think the answer to that question is going to come in a year or two. So here's what I mean. When we paid the money for Virgil van Dijk, it was a club record fee. When we look back on that now, does any one of us think that that wasn't money well spent or even talk about the fee? That's the kindest I can be about it. When these deals happen and they work out, like Arsenal fans, I'm sure they couldn't give one jot what they paid for Declan Rice because they know Declan Rice has made a difference in their midfield. That's kind of how I feel about this one, Mohammed. I'd rather, maybe feel like we paid a couple of million, 10 million, two more than lose out on him. And I also keep in mind as well the Trent situation. That's 10 million quid I didn't think we were getting. So if that's the difference, maybe that we have to cough up a bit extra, so be it. But the proof of the pudding's definitely going to be in the eating. And I think Florian Wirtz is going to make us very happy Liverpool fans. Want to say a quick thank you, by the way. A couple of people have been getting me to do Father's Day stuff on Cameo and stuff, and I want to say thank you to those people for it. I've really loved being able to call people's fathers the C word because they've requested me to call their fathers the C word. So yeah, appreciate that one to everybody. I wasn't really sure whether I should have joined Cameo or not, but I said I'd give it a bash, and so far so good. So thank you for all of your support on there as well. And again, like we said, the Anfield Agenda WhatsApp channel is now live. The link is in the chat. If you'd like to join it, we'd love to have you in there. Let's get going with this one. Lewis Wildick said, Wirtz given his own here we go before Fabrizio. I know, it's brilliant. And I hope that calmed a lot of people down because basically he quoted Florian Plettenberg and said this, who says I wanted 10? I respect players. Don't believe everything that's written. Buried Plettenberg there. And look, I kind of enjoyed that. Not really a huge Plettenberg fan in all honesty. And it's nice to see sometimes people get humbled like that when they're coming out with bollocks. Jordan Todd Scott, how are you, sir? My complaint with contracts, as happened with Trent, is the club knowing they want away and somehow fail to sell. So this would come down to a situation, Jordan, that I have to admit I don't fully understand. And that's to do with the amortization and the book value of players and what they owe Liverpool. These are accounting practices that I truly don't know inside out. But what I can say is, whatever happened with the likes of Trent, let's say, the club probably looked at it and think, well, we got value out of him over the time he was here. And maybe there was a little bit of manipulation there from Trent on this side, dragging it out a bit. I do feel he was a bit snide about it. I've never held back my feelings on that. But on other players, like, let's use the Canade situation as an example right now. So we know that Canade signed for Liverpool for, what was it, about 40 million quid, something like that. I don't know how much of his book value still stands on the balance sheet for Liverpool. So how much, let's say, we'd have to make back before a profit is made. But as an example, that's why I asked the question earlier on. Would you let him leave for free in a year rather than have it broken up this summer and us scrambling to find a replacement? And the more I've thought about this, the more I don't know the answer to it. Because my initial instinct is to say, I want the money. I want the money right now. But what's winning a Champions League or a Premier League worth to us if he was a difference maker in our defence? Because worst case scenario, let's say you lost Canade this summer, you sold him and you brought in somebody else, and then Verge picked up a knock. You've two leaders out of that defence. So for me, the club have to succession plan properly. And that's why I was questioning the idea of maybe if he won't agree a new deal, do you let him go for free? But what you do have, if you're Liverpool in this with him, is leverage. Because he's going to want to go to the World Cup. Like I've said before. I don't like the club maybe having to be snide around certain things. But I would be letting it be very clear that we're going to dictate this situation. If you don't want to agree an extension, okay. But enjoy being on the bench or whatever for the season. Because we want to sell you because you don't want the new deal. And if you don't want to agree to it, best of luck getting to the World Cup. But I don't know what's happening. So I hope Ibu signs a new deal. Colin, I'd love to go and get Haji Musa from Feyenoord. Well, you're an American, mate. I can see why. But for me, it would be a pass on Musa, to be honest with you. Jason said, I think Matteo Retegui is a good option for Liverpool. So you're not the first fan, mate, to mention his name to me. Atalanta striker, as I mentioned yesterday, their manager has departed. We've been linked once again with Tudo Atalanta for Ederson, their defensive midfielder. No idea whether that's true or not. But yeah, look, that name has been mentioned, but I've not heard it come up in discussion outside of fan circles. So decent shout though. LFC Deadpool. He's young, he's bold. He's something to behold. Florian Wirtz. He's slick, he's quick. He'll nutmeg you with a flick. Florian Wirtz. Thought we needed a chant. There you go. I'm sorry that I butchered your chant, mate, with my ridiculous way of trying to mumble through it, but I appreciate you. I do. And look, keep them coming. The more the merrier. When do you think we get to Here We Go? So now we're into the aspect of talking about respect to Germany, because you don't want a distraction with the German national team so close to that game tomorrow against Portugal. So I'm going to guess we're going to hear something after the game or on Thursday. But like I said, today we believe was a pivotal day. And look, I'm not going to say it because it's not my place to break any news like that. But, you know, read between the lines and all that. Let's go for Minta. Didn't he just move, though? Hasn't he just moved? Didn't he go to Brighton? And if he's at Brighton, no. God, 100 million, that's the only number Brighton seem to know, by the way. Right, let's, I want to ask you something. Let's do a poll on the strikers. The 4 strikers that were mentioned as Liverpool options. I want to ask you who you think is going to be the one that we get over the line, if any. So let me get this poll up. Right, so bear with me before I post this, because I want you to ask and vote which one you think we will sign, not which one you want us to sign, because I think we'd all see Isak win this poll. But I want you to vote which one you think we will sign. And if you think none of the above, then please just comment that. But I want to know, out of Isak, Osimhen, Šeško and Ekitike, who you think Liverpool sign. Okay, cool. Let's keep going. Pranav, how are you, my man? Said, I can see us playing a diamond formation. Grav, Maka, Soboslai, Wirtz with Salah and a new striker up front, also Frimpong and Kerkez bombing on. Look, there's definitely fluidity in the possibilities for the formation, whether it's a 4-2-4, a 4-2-2-2, a 4-3-3, a 4-1-2-1. There's going to be the ability for Arne Slot to tinker and change things a lot, and that's a positive because, again, it'll keep opposition teams guessing. And there you go. Again, Corn Pugh said, no idea what system formation we will be running. Same. And I don't mind about it either. Because, if we don't know, then hopefully the opposition won't know. But I think you'll see various options utilised during pre-season. If Kwanzaa goes, surely that means we have to buy another centre-half. I also think Gordon would be too expensive. So, 100%. Like, for me right now, we need one centre-back. And that's before we lose anybody, Andrew. If we were to lose Kwanzaa, we need two, in my opinion. So, yeah, I agree with you on that one. And the Gordon deal, I guess I don't know the numbers involved in it, so I would be comfortable at 60, something like that, but I've no idea if Newcastle would command or demand a higher fee. Honestly, I haven't got a clue. Who do you think we will sign next? Well, it's going to be between Wirtz and Kerkez, one of those two. Depends which one gets done first, but Liverpool are working on both the deals, as we've mentioned. From what we've heard today, I think Wirtz will be the one that gets announced first, but, wait and see. But what you can start to look forward to is that he is 100% going to be a Red, like we've said, and today was a big day. How much is the fish? Thank you. Good username. Hey, Craig, how are you today? I know it'll be annoying, but I've only just came in. If you wouldn't mind recapping the live so far. The things that you probably need to know are this. Kelleher has made his move to Brentford today. That's been completed. Wish him nothing but the best. He's been a great servant to the club. There has been a breakthrough and a development in the situation with Florian Wirtz. The clubs are either very, very close to getting that deal over the line or it's already agreed over the line. Wirtz has come out then and absolutely buried Florian Plettenberg, posting on Instagram to say, who said I wanted 10? I respect players, don't believe everything that's written. On top of that, what else has been the big news? Diaz. Al Nasser have received the central funding go-ahead to make what we believe to be an €85 million bid for Luis Diaz. They also want to keep Cristiano Ronaldo, and they think that they're going to try basically add players in to make them a championship-winning team to keep the crybaby happy. So we believe that offer is going to come in. Now, I don't know whether he ends up at Al Nassr or Barcelona, but I know which deal will be easier for Liverpool to complete, and that's certainly to the Saudi side because we know Barcelona's financial headaches. What else? Has there been any other major news? Yeah, there's Sky have said that Liverpool are looking at 4 strikers. Isak, Šeško, Osimhen and Ekitike, and hence why we have the poll up at the minute. Where are we at this one? Bradley said, keep up the amazing work. Kerkez like Wirtz's post. What a lad. What a lad. I love Kerkez. I really do. I love that he's, so excited to come to the club. I love that he's been openly liking all these posts as well. What's this one? Oh, now he's getting community notes added and all. Florian Plettenberg saying, readers added context that they thought people might want to know. Florian Wirtz denies this. Plettenberg absolutely getting rinsed. Love to see it. Some Neil said, did you see the stuff on Zubimendi not convinced on Arsenal and that he might join Real Madrid because of Alonso? Yep. And remember at the time when we were being linked with him? Remember what I said? My fear is if we sign Zubimendi and Alonso ends up at Real Madrid and he flutters his eyelashes at Zubimendi, that Zubimendi would go run into Madrid. That was my fear because I know he's his idol. It's perfectly natural and normal, but it was a concern I had even back then. So I don't know if he joins Arsenal or not, but I think Arsenal fans probably have a knot in their stomach at this point over it because it certainly wasn't a convincing interview that he gave, was it? It definitely didn't say that he's 100% heading in that direction. He certainly left the door open. Steve said, sussed it out, Craig. Great things on the horizon. Much love, my man. Much love. So, I've been reading some comments lately, and there's been a lovely, refreshing change to some of the tone of the comments from people who've only just found the channel over the last few weeks. I don't know what's happened, but the channel's just kicked on and it's gone nuts. But to all those new people that are in our community, whether you're watching in the background or you're watching this later on, thank you. Welcome to our community. We hope you continue to enjoy it. I think you'll find a really great group of people in the chat to interact with. And as I mentioned, we've just launched that Anfield Agenda WhatsApp channel as well. Link to that in the chat. I have a feeling in my groin. Nah, fuck it. We're going big today. I've got a feeling in me nuts that we're going to try for Isak. Newcastle keep missing on their targets. His head might be available to get turned. Well, as I mentioned, Sky, again, saying that we're looking at him. I don't know of any indication that we'd be able to get him at a Newcastle. You know, especially with them having qualified for the Champions League. So, I'd love him. Of course I would. Alvarez is my number one target. Atletico Madrid came out today and very clearly said once again that he's going nowhere. But look, with Sky, sometimes I don't really pay too much attention to them because they've been behind the 8 ball a lot. They were slow with Wirtz when they were still talking about Manchester City and Bayern, when us and a lot of other people were saying, no, Liverpool. Then they caught up on that. So for me, I don't know on the striker situation. The only three I knew about out of sitting here with the three that I've been speaking about for the past week. After that, I'll do my best to try and figure out what's going on. But like I said, I do think you're going to see sales next, and I do understand the thinking there. Where else have we got? Tala said, hey Craig, would you rather have Wirtz or Isak for 150 million? Wirtz, without any hesitation, for two reasons. One, I think he can win a Ballon d'Or. Two, I think he can help us unblock a low block defence. And let's throw in a third one as well. I always have concerns about Isak's injury record. Now look, I know that Florian Wirtz had an ACL when he was, 17, 18, something like that. But this is a signing, for me, that would be right up there in top three for us to ever do. Musiala would have been another one. I think he's an incredible player. And Bellingham, Musiala, Wirtz, they are three signings that if any club make, I think you're signing a potential Ballon d'Or winner. Do a deal with Brighton Harvey for Matoma. He's too old. You know, you'd be bringing in somebody who's about 28. I think 28 or 29. A brilliant player, but just too old. Is it true you used to be a taxi driver? Yes, that's true. I did. I had a taxi plate, which I sold just before I got married to help pay for the last part of the wedding. But yeah, I was a taxi driver in Dublin, my man. PSV licence to drive a taxi, a limo or a hearse. I think this season we should move Salah to centre forward, said Cal Downs. I love it. Mate, I absolutely love the idea of Salah being central. I've said it for a long time, but we've not seen any indication from the club that it's going to happen. You know, for me, I agree. Put him where he can do the most damage, which I think now is central. The pre-season games couldn't come sooner, honestly, said Schmungus. Yeah, but some of the early kickoff times are going to kill me, bro. They're going to kill me. These 10, 11 o'clock kickoffs. But it's exciting. It is exciting. You know, we've got the Club World Cup, which will keep us ticking over as football addicts. And then obviously we've got the pre-season then coming in July 8th onwards. Mark Henry said, thoughts on the Ben Doak situation? I always believe that if a player realistically doesn't have a long-term future at the club, the fairest thing to do in these scenarios is to sell. I do understand that clubs obviously want to keep some youngsters gaining minutes to put up their value, but I hate seeing a kid denied playing time. So for me, Ben Doak puts into the same bracket as Tyler Morton and other players. Liverpool know that they're going to sell him, so don't stand in his way. Sell him. And if that's to Everton or anybody else, so be it. But get the best deal you can, make sure the kid's happy, and don't block his progression. That's what I would say with this one. So sell him. Craig, you're going to hit 400k this year. Proud of you. It's crazy. Look, we're about to hit 321k. And it's grown like nearly 1,000 a day in the last while, which is nuts. I don't get it, man. You know me, I've always hit the same. I don't get the attraction or why anyone tunes in. I think you're all nuts, but thank you again for changing my life, for giving me confidence, you know. If you go back and watch the earlier videos on the channel, I definitely have a bit more sluggishness to me and a lot less confidence. Now I feel at home on here every night with everyone. Mohammed said about United, number one, how did I have that much money to pay for Cunha? Number two, why would anybody wreck their career to go to United at this moment? So, Mohammed, I've been asking the same question about the finances at United. So it looks like Bruno Fernandes is turning down that move to Saudi. And I assumed that that was how they were going to fund some of these deals. We also know that Chelsea are paying the £5 million, what do they call it, rejection clause, or £5 million fee not to take up the option to sign Jadon Sancho. So United will have to sell Sancho, they'll have to sell Rashford, they'll be selling Garnacho, and a few other players, and I think that will free up the money. But it looks like they're spending that money in advance. And if they bring in Mbeumo and they bring in Cunha, that's a serious amount of money. You're talking about £115 million for the two of them. So yeah, they're going to have to sell players. But some of those players, like Garnacho, like Rashford, academy products, will be all profit on the club's balance sheet. So I'm sure that'll help out as well. But if I remember correctly, and maybe United fans can help me out with this, didn't Radcliffe say that they were already committed to something like 113 or 115 million pound in payments this summer for deals that they've done in the past? And also no European football this season. SDO said, hear me out. Isak isn't that great. 15 to 25 goals. Look, my number one is Alvarez, but if we signed Isak, I would be absolutely over the moon with that as well, mate. Don't get me wrong. So let's check the poll. So who do you think we sign was the question. We're heading for 2,600 votes already. By the way, I want to just say, my life in the last 2 weeks has been so much fun, and I've never been as excited to be streaming. You know, I've had times in the past where I've admitted to you guys I've been struggling, or I've had doubts about the channel or the future of it, or are we going in the right direction? Whatever's happened since this last month or so, you guys have been incredible. The support, the emails, the messages, even when I'm out and about and I see people, thank you, thank you, thank you, because I feel like a different human being, and it's because of you. I love you all dearly, and I will never ever stop trying to repay the faith you've given in us. Even if it's people who are commenting, trying to belittle me or whatever, it doesn't hit anymore. It doesn't stick, because, you know, I just feel the love, man. That's all I can say. It's weird to say these things as a grown-ass man, but I just feel incredible because of you guys. Steve said it's the best fan show on YouTube. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. I don't think so, by the way. I think there's many, many better content creators out there than me. And some of the ones that I see don't have the following, I hope they get there, because, you know, there's some brilliant content creators out there. Whether you're a Liverpool fan or a United fan or elsewhere, football fan content is going from strength to strength. And, you know, the biggest way you can see that is that the big media companies now are, you know, trying to basically do similar content, do watch-alongs, all the stuff that we've been ridiculed for doing for a few years. Mark said, respect Kelleher, 100%. You know, it's a sad day for me as an Irishman, obviously, because I loved having him at Liverpool. You know, having an Irish goalkeeper there, it just made me feel even closer to the club. So I wish Creevin nothing but the best. He's been an incredible servant for the club and always handled himself impeccably as well. Awesome. Reading some of the comments in the chat. You guys are amazing. Thank you. Nakib said, you run a genuinely great channel. You're an outstanding lad. Love from South Africa. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. You're a trooper, said Brian Duncan. Thank you, Brian. Love your honesty. Hence, I watched the stream, said Badruddin. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you. Kai said, you're too nice, Craig. We love you, mate. It's reciprocated. You know, I told you this before. A changing point came for me about 1.5 years, 2 years ago. And it was such a simple thing. You know these like Meccano things, like the little balls that you can make bigger and then like this, make bigger and then like this. I was with my psychologist one day and he brought in this little prop and he said to me, Craig, this is you. You're closed off, you're defensive, you're angry at the world, and you need to be like this. You need to open your heart up, and you need to accept kindness, and you need to be more vulnerable. And when you do that, your world will change. And it stuck with me. And I tried to start doing it. I tried to start being more open and gentle and less aggressive, and everything changed. And yeah, I don't know, and it's incredible. It's just incredible. I'm so grateful. First Cunha, now Mbuemo. Players in their prime joining for United with no European football. It's amazing they still have a pull. I think like us as well. Mohammed said, be more vulnerable. That's not a good idea. It is though, mate. And he also said to me, lucky people are people that put themselves out there to get the look. And it's true. It's changed my life, those bits of advice. And like I said, I'm probably going to need counselling and psychology work for the rest of my life in and out. But, it's part of who I am and I wouldn't be here without it. Right, so first Cunha, now Mbuemo, players in the prime, join United with no European football. It's amazingly still have a pull. I think clubs like Liverpool, Manchester United will always have some pull because of the history of the clubs, the tradition of the clubs. And to be fair, I banter United fans a lot, and I forever will, but they do show tremendous support to the players and their coaches. And I have nothing but respect for United and their fans. I have a rivalry that I want us to beat them all the time, but they're a good group. And they've always been really good to me as well, the fans. So I think I can understand the pulling power, but again, the financial side of it, I'm very confused about. People tune in because you speak for most fans and the community is active in the chat. Other chats feel dead. The channel will grow exponentially. Well, I'm still waiting for my invite to Mr. Beast's wedding. So, Jimmy, what's going on, mate? Why am they on the guest list? Can you imagine that guest list, by the way, for his wedding? Oh my God, it'd be like a who's who of influential content creators and whatnot. And thank you, Corn and Pew. From one Scouse, Craig, to another adopted Scouser, it's a pleasure to watch you, mate. Thank you, Craig Jones. That's the biggest compliment I can get, is becoming an adopted Scouser, man. That means so much. Lisa, great content. Can you do me a favour? Can you buy a Liverpool shirt with Wirtz when he signs? I'll be buying 2 of the 3 shirts from this season when they come out. Do you know what? I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. I don't ask for your help very often. But when the Adidas stuff is unveiled, I need you to help me catch Adidas' attention. Because if there's one Liverpool fan on the planet who has repped Adidas the entire way along, it's this guy. I'm an Adidas fanboy through and through. So it would be like my life ambition to even get acknowledged by Adidas when Liverpool start doing the stuff with them. So if you can help me at that point to try and grab Adidas' attention, it would mean the world to us. Because, yeah, I'm going to be balls deep in Adidas stuff when Liverpool and Adidas release their stuff on August the 1st. And I don't think I'll be getting a name on the back of a shirt, though. I think I'm too old for that these days. But my plan is to get the green one with the Champions League badge, and then get the home kit with the golden Premier League badge. And yeah, again. But we'll be giving away some Vert shirts and stuff. Don't worry about that. Keep an eye on our Twitter account, because we are going to be giving away some of those shirts when he signs. We do like to make sure we try and give back a bit as well, because we wouldn't be here without you. Everyone has doubt. It's natural to stop and consider the moments. You're a good man, Craig. Oh, big love, mate. So happy the channel's thriving. Look, I think when I go back and I talk about when I was 16, 17, 18 and my suicide with my mum and my dad dying from drink and all the other shit, I had a really hard adolescence, and I never really came out of it until my mid-30s. And I thought I'd be dead by this point, in all honesty. I didn't think I'd be here. So to be here, and not only to be happy, but to be optimistic about the future, it's not something I ever thought I'd get in life. I felt like I was surviving every day and not living my life. Now I feel like I've endless possibilities, and I want to be a good example to people and to my kids and to other people's kids. about not giving up, and about being open and honest and talking and having fun. I think it's important because when I look around the world at the minute, there's so many negative influences on particularly young men who are looking for a role model, and I don't think some of the people who are being clung on to are the right type of people. So appreciate all of your support. And yeah, man, I defo have doubt a lot of it. If you ever see me 5 minutes before any of our stage shows, man, you wouldn't recognise me because I'm a bag of nerves. I'm shaking like a leaf. But look, I don't like any of this stuff being about me, so let's just keep it to the footy. FWK and a striker, underrated, and the quad. Yes, sir. Undefeated and the quad, excuse me. LFC Tiger with 2 Gs said, anybody ever thought that Liverpool and Leverkusen are both waiting until after the Nations League? Germany could play twice, and what happens to the transfer if, and God forbid, Wirtz gets injured? There's definitely going to be some of that, yes. And I wonder, will he start tomorrow? I'm interested in seeing that one. But of course, yeah, you've got to cover your bases as well. Personally, I think the trigger's got to be pulled on it one way or the other. And I hope we're not tempting fate, excuse me, with any of their stuff, mate. So touch wood and all that. Great content, Craig. Wish me luck for the leave insert. All the best, Dara. Genuinely, man. All the best. I never got to go to college after my leave insert because my dad died and I was made homeless, and I had to. I ended up in debt at that point, trying to find somewhere to live and all. So I never went to college in the end, and it's one of the regrets that I do have in life. I was supposed to study psychology and French, and never got to do it. But now my life's changed. And I wish nothing but the best for you as well. So yeah, best of luck in your leave insert, but don't overly concern yourself with it. Do the best that you can, but don't let it cause you any sleepless nights or anything like that. Okay, where are we at? Craig's there also a report of Joe Gomez for sale, said Dramil. I really hope we get a centre back and a striker, and then let's see who can stop us. Yeah, Gomez is an interesting one. What I believe is the case is that the club will respect whatever he wants to do. If Joe wants to stay, I think we'll all happily have Joe around. I know I certainly would. Oh, what's this? The Times are just reporting some problems here. Not for us, sorry. I don't want to scare anybody. Let me read this out to you. Transfer sector posted, crediting the Times newspaper. Barcelona faces UEFA sanctions for a second consecutive year of financial rule breaches, potentially including reduced Champions League squad or points deductions. Chelsea and Aston Villa, first-time offenders, will face financial penalties. UEFA will confirm details this month. So Chelsea and Villa to face financial penalties, and Barcelona either limited squad size or points deductions for more breaches. And the Premier League are also going to close that loophole that will allow Chelsea and other clubs do what Chelsea did, selling the hotels to themselves and stuff like that. That loophole is going to be changed. There was also a unanimous vote to cap the away season ticket prices at £30. I think this is the 5th or 6th year or something like that in a row it's been agreed. But that's been agreed going into next season as well. So away season ticket prices will be capped at 30 quid. Or away ticket prices, will be capped at 30 quid. Right, where are we at? This one. How did you end up doing Liverpool content? Where did it all start? Would love to get something going. P.S. My nan and granddad love your vids. Oh, well, say hi to nan and granddad from me, my man. For me, it all started when I made a Twitter account. So I made a Twitter account. I didn't use my own real name. I used to use the name Cop Jaffer. So I made a Twitter account and I started posting just because I was lonely and I wanted to interact with other Liverpool fans. So my account gained a little bit of traction as I started to post a little bit. And then I got the opportunity to write articles for Anfield Index. They had Liverpool fans who wrote articles for them. So I said, hey, cool, we'll give this a go. Still using my alias at the time, didn't use my real name. So I started writing these articles. The articles then were met with some decent responses. And I thought, cool, this is fun. And then I got the opportunity to do a podcast on there. They have the Writers Podcast where they spoke about each other's articles during the week and stuff like that. So I went on and did my first podcast. I vomited just before I did it, and Nina Kauser, and I'll always respect Nina for this, talked me through everything and helped me with that first podcast. So I did that for a little bit, and then I realised that, and this is going to sound a little bit weird, but I realised that everyone was being too nice to each other, and everyone was agreeing with everything, and nobody was pushing back, and I had loads of shit I wanted to push back on. So I decided that I wanted to learn how to do a podcast. And a guy called Nish, LFC coach, helped me to learn how to edit and record a podcast. So then we started our own podcast, and we called it the Anfield Road Wolves. And then we changed that to TOTT Sport. And then eventually one day Connor said to me, why don't we go on to YouTube? And I said, look, mate, what was I at the time? 35. Never had any experience with YouTube, never been in front of a camera. And Connor said, I think we should try YouTube. So we did, and here we are. So yeah, that's it. My very first stream, turned on the camera, and I didn't know what a YouTuber was supposed to do. So I just started talking to people who dropped into the chat, and they used to go for 3.5 hours at times. And then over the years, things just started to pick up, and then the 7-2 clip happened, and yeah, the rest is where we are now. Harry said, I was too young to watch Owen for Liverpool. Was he better than Torres? Who thinks after marketing underwhelming, half the ability of Suarez on form? I think who thinks striker marketing is underwhelming? All are half the ability of Suarez on form. Was Owen better than Torres? Yes, I would say Michael Owen was better than Fernando Torres. I don't like how his career at Liverpool ended up and where he went, but he was brilliant when he came through. So anything you've heard about him was great. But I'd still say Robbie Fowler's the best of the lot. Him and Rushy, me the two best. Robbie Fowler is my absolute idol. He's my favourite Liverpool player of all time. But I did disagree on something that he posted today. I seen him responding to somebody, I think it was on X, that spoke about what striker would you go for. And he said Ollie Watkins. I just disagree with that because Ollie Watkins is about to turn 30 in December, and that's not, for me, a deal Liverpool should be looking to do. But I don't know if Robbie was maybe just talking about who he rates, and look, I do rate Ollie Watkins. I remember speaking with Darragh McAnthony, the Peterborough chairman, when Ollie Watkins had gone to Brentford, and he was bigging him up even then. You know, Darragh's a Liverpool fan, and Darragh was saying, this guy Ollie Watkins, Liverpool should sign him. And then a year later we did another one, and he was talking about Ivan Toney, who had been at Peterborough as well. And he said, I'm telling you, Ivan Toney's the real deal. So one thing I will say is Darragh McAnthony definitely has an eye for talent, and has brought some great players through. And absolutely proud as well to be able to call Darragh a friend as well, which is great, because I do love to see other Irish people succeed, and I do like Darragh McAnthony. Rio, I can't pronounce his surname, Red, so I'm just going to say Rio. Will he get more chances next season? Yes. I don't see alone in his future. I do think Liverpool want to nurture him from within. And it's about getting that balance of competitive games and making sure his progress isn't stunted. So, yeah, he's a special talent, and we will see him this season, I think, maybe in Carabao Cup games, but who knows? You know, if, let's say, an injury gives him an opportunity and he takes it, you know, that's what football is about, isn't it? Taking your chances when they come, and there's no doubting what a talent young Rio is. You've seen how much Chelsea threw their toys out of the pram when we got him. 27 subscribers to go to get to 321k, folks. So if you can, please do take a second, hit that subscribe button. Casual Citizen said, I see a lot of Michael Owen's talent in Wirtz. They're obviously playing different positions, but they look very similar in terms of talent. Michael Owen had incredible pace. He had incredible ability and balance when he was going through. Just look at the goal he scored for England against Argentina when he was 18. And look at the FA Cup final for us against Arsenal as well at the Millennium Stadium where we beat them. We'd no right to win that game, but Michael Owen won us that game. He was incredible, no denying it. But as the injury started to take toll, I think he became a different player because he lost that explosiveness and that pace. Right, where are we? This one, Sunil said, do you think City and Chelsea, to a lesser degree, don't compete next year for the Premier League because of a short pre-season 2-horse race between Liverpool and Arsenal. Definitely think there's going to be a knock-on effect from the Club World Cup. How could there not be? You know, you've got players right now who are with their national teams who then have to leave the national teams camps and go over for a Club World Cup camp. Then they'll have to have a shortened holiday, have to have a minimum of 4 weeks, and then they'll be back, and then the pre-season starts. It would be a massive surprise to me if we don't see more injuries next season from some of these clubs, because player welfare seems to have just gone out the window. So yes, I do think there'll be a knock-on effect to Chelsea and City. How big of an impact, I don't know. I'd also say, in Chelsea's case, I know they had European football this season, but they didn't really put out the first team in the Conference League for most of it. So they're also going to have to strike the balance with that. And there was something I was seeing last night on Sky where they were talking, I think, who was on it? I can't remember who was on back pages last night with Sky, but they were talking about Chelsea needing to add some experience in the team. And I think that's right. They've obviously got a very young squad, but I think they could do with a bit of experience in there as well, especially going into the Champions League next season. It looks like they're moving for Mike Maignan, the AC Milan goalkeeper. That's been talked about. He's got 1 year to go on his Milan deal, and there's been lots of talk about Chelsea making a play to bring him in. Craig Adams, how are you, dude? Said, where's this one gone? There we go. Anything on Jota leaving? Nothing new. No. The reason I'm unsure about Jota is I really just get the feeling that Arne does trust him. I would sell him. I've said this for a long time, but maybe the club don't want too much change up top. Because if we lose Diaz, we are going to lose Darwin. We're bringing in Wirtz. You know, how much change is too much change? Also, we don't know what's going on with Fede Chiesa. Atletico Madrid are interested. Napoli are interested. So what happens there? Hello, Craig. Do you think Wirtz will play off the left? No, I get the feeling he's going to play in some type of a central role. Whether that is in a double pivot, or whether that's as a false 9, or whether just in the playmaker free number 10 role himself. But I do think we're going to see him central. And I think also what hasn't really been spoken about much yet for Wirtz is the press. He turns over and wins possession a lot. And that's one thing I think Liverpool fans are really going to enjoy when we get to see Wirtz on the pitch. You know, I remember how good Bobby was at it as well. And Florian Wirtz is incredible. Look at his stats about high press and winning the ball back. They're really impressive. Itachi said, I'm still crying. I never saw Fernando Torres and Suarez. Oh, can you imagine? That was the plan. That was the plan, that we sign Luis Suarez from Ajax and we keep and pair him with Fernando Torres. Who would have... Gee, wow. Imagine those two. Like... It would have been ridiculous. Like, Luis Suarez was incredible. Nutmeg a mermaid. Brilliant player. Fernando Torres then had the physicality as well on top of it. Those two up top together. Even if we had got one season out of it, it would have been incredible. So, Ben Jacobs has said, the winner of the Club World Cup will have a special badge on the shirt until 2029. So there you go. Has anybody else really got a pain in the hole seeing Man City still having that gold Club World Cup badge on it, on their jersey for, it feels like an eternity now. Yeah, and we weren't even allowed to wear it. Remember? We could wear it in an FA Cup game or something, but we weren't allowed to wear it in the league. But when City did it, all of a sudden the rules changed. It's mad that, isn't it? Colin said, Jota scored some really important goals this season when I watched back the goals for the year. He has, but I just feel like he's regressed a bit. We all know what a good finisher Diogo is, but this season he looked like he was unfit for the season, if that makes sense. He just didn't look like himself. Thank you. By the way, do keep hitting that subscribe button. I can't believe we've gone over 321k. It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts, but please do. And also, if I can ask you that massive favour, do check out the Anfield Agenda Clips channel. We probably will never get to 1 million subscribers on here, and we'll probably never get the gold YouTube play button for this channel. But we do have a chance to get a silver play button for our Clips channel when it gets to 100k. We're nearly halfway there. So if you do subscribe to us on here, please do check out the Clips channel as well, because Connor puts up all the highlights from our streams, our best bits, and some other interesting bits and pieces on there. So So we do hope you enjoy it in shorter form. And if you do, please do hit that subscribe button. Carl said, Craig, do you think Adidas are involved in the Florian Wirtz talks? I would imagine there'd have to be some conversation, particularly if you're talking about the announcement. So what we seen with Frimpong was that Liverpool announced the signing, but didn't announce a number. And I'm wondering, are we going to wait until the 1st of August when Adidas officially become a kit manufacturer, and then we see that part of it happening? That's all I can think of. But yeah, I was sure that they're certainly inquiring about it because he's an Adidas athlete. Obviously, Nike are still our kit manufacturers. So yeah, I'd imagine there are some conversations there. With regards to the finances of it, I've certainly not heard of any involvement from Adidas in that side of things. J Muse, what am I not commenting on? You've seen, I can't get Craig to comment, mate. Which one is it that you need me to comment on, or who needs my attention? If it's something important or someone's birthday or something I'm missing it out, let me just try and figure it out. Yeah, I always try to get to the important moments. So if somebody has a birthday or something like that, please do let me know. Niall Kimmings, thank you, my friend, said, hey Craig, my missus just gave birth to our newest little red. Nice. Your videos have been a godsend, keeping us up to date with transfer news. Keep it up, pal. Well, look, mate, firstly, congratulations. Congratulations to yourself and your partner on the new baby Red. And please do give him a hug. I love that new baby smell. I know that probably sounds weird, but I do love the new baby smell. And I'm very much looking forward in the future to being a granddad as well. My own daughter's 21, not ready yet to be a granddad, but very much looking forward to spoiling the little guy or girl rotten in the future and then handing it back to mommy and daddy filled full of sugar. But congratulations, that's awesome. I love these good news stories. Well in, my man. Itachi said, do you think Cody Gakpo could be a long-time replacement for Lucho? I like him very much and deserves first before we buy another player. We need two options. That's it. We need two options. Simple as that, yeah. So, if Diaz moves on, I want somebody in there to compete. Because I've loved that there has been that competition between Cody Gakpo and Diaz. And I think it's probably brought the best out of both of them. RS said Liverpool need to sign up some young Mexican talent. I would like to see us bring in some more players from that part of the world, mate. I know we've got a good scouting system set up over there, but we don't really bring players across, do we? So, agree with you. I know Liverpool are making a push scouting-wise in that part of the world, but whether it leads to a player or two in, let's wait and see. Turnip Owl said, what's the chance of us signing Anthony Gordon? I wouldn't be able to give you a definitive one way or the other, but what I could say is there's clearly an interest from Liverpool in him because we looked at him last summer. There's clearly an interest in him in Liverpool because he's a Liverpool fan. He did sign the new Newcastle deal, but also at the end of the season, we seen that Harvey Barnes was starting to get more opportunities and starting to, really flourish in that Newcastle team. So there's something in the back of my mind that I remember one of the Newcastle higher-ups saying that they're still at a point at the club where sometimes they have to take one step backwards to take two steps forward. And sometimes they may have to sell somebody like an Anthony Gordon to then go and fund two or three more until they get the whole PSR stuff sorted out. So, and by that I mean until they get a bit more consistency of being in the Champions League and revenue streams that will allow them to not have to do that. So all of that in, I think there's a chance, but I'm certainly not going to sit here and tell you it's happening. Jordan Peter Lee Jones says, thoughts on John Duran, mate? Some friends in Saudi reckons he comes to us. I'll tell you what, be a great show. Yeah, I mean, I haven't kept track of him at all since he's gone to Saudi, but I remember watching him with Villa, and he looked like an absolute bargain that Villa had gotten themselves. So, I mean, I will give you all the credit, mate, if that happens, because you're the first person I've seen mention that, but it'd be an incredible shout, wouldn't it? John Duran, that'd be an interesting one. Right, our poll. We've had 4,560 votes on it. We'll let it go to 5,000. So if you haven't voted, what we're asking is, who do you think that we sign? Isak, Osimhen, Šeško, or Ekitike? Now remember, it's who you think, not who you want. So do vote away. What's this he's just sent me? Wow. So, Bild in Germany are reporting this about Florian Wirtz. Florian Wirtz will earn less at Liverpool than he would have at Bayern Munich. Let that settle in, Bayern Munich fans. Let that sting there for a minute. His decision was purely a sporting one. Liverpool will make the most expensive signing in English history. The transfer fee will be over €135 million. So there you go. Could have gotten more money elsewhere, but still wanted to come and play for the Reds. If that doesn't make you love him even more, I don't know what will, but that's definitely hit me right in the feels. Wow. I love it. I love when players really do just look at it from a sporting landscape and think, what is the best way for my career trajectory? And it would have been easy for him to stay in Germany and sign for Bayern Munich, because, you know, that path has been trodden before by many players in German football, but he's backing himself to come to the Prem with Liverpool and be a huge success, and I'm sure the financial rewards will come. You know, he's hardly going to be stuck for a few bob for the electricity bill, but it's still great to read stuff like that. Read that again, please. No problem, sir. So, Anfield sector credit them for the post, and they credit Bild, said Florian Wirtz will earn less at Liverpool than he would have at Bayern Munich. His decision was purely a sporting one. Liverpool will make the most expensive signing in English history. The transfer fee will be over €135 million. Incredible. Incredible. Like, for Liverpool to have that record in itself is brilliant. It'll be certainly a club record for us, but statement signing. Life of Tyler Vlogs said, hey Craig, I'm new here, loving the content, brother. Well, let me welcome you to the community, my man. First and foremost, you know, welcome in. I hope you're enjoying yourself so far. I think you'll find the community a really good group of people as well, and I appreciate your support, my man. Thank you. Right. Please say hi to Lauren. She's a big fan but struggling with anxiety from an accident. Lauren, I think I know the Lauren that you're speaking about. Seems to have a lot of battle with anxiety, which I completely sympathise with. So Lauren, we hope that you're okay. Really sorry to hear about the car accident. And yeah, much love. Sending you love and best wishes, my friend. Itachi, up the Wirtz. No, up your Wirtz. Sorry, couldn't help myself. I'm a child. Yeah, up the Wirtz. What a day, lads. Honestly, I'm just buzzing. I'm just buzzing. Joe Wilkinson said, Craig, do you think these decisions are easier to make for players now that they know Saudi are always there at the end of their careers? I think certainly the emergence of Saudi Arabia and even the MLS to some extent as viable destinations for players at the latter part of their careers financially certainly helps. I just love it. It's old school. You know, we have this romantic vision of people just wanting to do what's best for their careers. And I never judge someone that's motivated by money because, you know, some of these people will come from levels of poverty that I'd never experience and never want to experience. And I'd never judge them for having to support a community and extended family and maybe looking at their short careers and wanting to maximize the profit in it. But romantically, we all want to think the players want to come to win trophies, to feel the connection with the fan base, and to be idolised and loved by us. And Wirtz will find out very quickly what a special club he's joining with a special group of fans. And he's certainly doing all the right things before he's even joined the club. Burying Plettenberg, that's made me smile. Being respectful to Alexis McAllister in the number 10 as well. Schmungus, how are we, bro? Said, I think with these new signings, it'll bring some much needed competition among the lads. Some of them have gotten too comfortable, lazy in their shitty performances. I think when there's no pressure on a position, it's a problem. So, for instance, Mohamed Salah on the right. He's got no pressure on him, and I don't like that. Now, another thing to say be, who could put pressure on him? But I think everybody should feel like they don't have a divine right to just play every week. And again, I'm not saying Mo thinks that, but pressure is good. Competition is good. It increases the levels, keeps everybody on their toes, and most importantly, gives the manager options. So, yeah, more competition, the better. What's this? Let me just read this out just a little bit longer. So credit LFC Transfer Room, and they're crediting Bill. They say, Florian Wirtz is not expected to become the top earner at Liverpool. That will remain being Mohamed Salah. Wirtz is expected to earn between 326 to 359,000 a week, depending on his achievement success. A close friend of Florian Wirtz told Bill Florian only wants to go to Liverpool. So, again, without throwing flowers at myself, somebody asked me last night on the fee, and I said I believe the wages would be in and around 310,000, 315,000. There you go. Pretty much as we mentioned yesterday. And that's fair value. Like, if you are spending that much on a player, you know, they're going to come in on a high wage, aren't they? So, but it is lovely to hear that he could have gotten more money elsewhere. And Bayern Munich are a very well-run club, so, you know, they have the ability to pay top money like they have done for the likes of Musiala, Alphonso Davies when he renewed, Joshua Kimmich. I wake up to this. If Diaz goes, a shout is Diaby. Not seeing his name mentioned, Oliver, but truthfully, mate, you could name the exact player and I wouldn't know. At this moment in time, I don't know the centre-back situation, I don't know the striker situation, and I don't know who, if anybody, will be the replacement for Diaz if he goes. I want to find out, and I'll try to, but, you know, I'm being honest with you right now, I don't know the answers. Daz said, Salah gone in January. No, I don't think so. He has records to be beaten. And he wants the Champions League again. I don't think there's any way Salah leaves mid-season. And I don't think he leaves with 1 year to go in his contract either, because I'm sure his agent will remind Liverpool that they told him the last time, you're not letting him leave for a transfer fee. So, yeah, I think Salah sees out to 2 years. Life of Tyler Vlog said, who's your favourite academy player for Liverpool? So the easy answer would be to say Rio, but I am obviously very excited about him. But Trey Neone always looks like a class act to me when I watch him. So I'm going to say Trey Morris Neone, but Rio is probably the correct answer because he's absolutely incredible. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to have to say goodnight. I didn't realise it's already gone to nearly 95 minutes on the stream. So we've hit 5,000 votes now, and we asked who you think Liverpool will sign as a striker. And with 40% of the poll, the number one answer was Hugo Ekitike. And again, massive thank you to everybody that took part in the poll. Lauren, all good, my man. My dear, all good. And I hope that you feel better soon, and I hope you're recovering well after the crash. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go record the news update video because more stuff on my inbox is breaking, obviously, with the late news coming out. Give me about 10 minutes to read through everything and check up on it, and then we'll have an update video coming out very soon. Again, do check out our Clips channel. Don't forget to check out the Anfield Agenda WhatsApp channel as well. And much love to all of you for another incredible stream. Thank you for your support.